Hello again. Tuesday, September the 6th, saw London City Airport rendered inoperable with the occupation of its runway by 9 supporters of Black Lives Matter. Surprisingly, the action was against the effect of pollution on ethnic minorities in East London. True, emissions are a severe problem in East London. Here in Whitechapel, for example, many of us suffer from breathing difficulties, but it's something that plagues whole swathes of the working class population, white, black, and brown, disproportionately compared to the wealthy incomers. Social cleansing, poverty, wages, homelessness, indifferent education, sky high rents, food banks affect us all, regardless of our ethnic composition. Black and Asian people face extra pressure from state racism, police harassment, and the so called justice system. You don't have to be Einstein to figure out that spit hoods will be employed disproportionately against black people. Therefore, the focus of the airport protest seems somewhat bizarre. Even more perplexing was that the 9 people arrested were all white. I automatically assumed they were from the middle class demographic. 3 of them had double barreled names. It's interesting to note that the first result of this action was increased stop and searches of ethnic minority students around the nearby campus of East London University. Here in London, despite headline grabbing direct actions, Black Lives Matter have proved a major disappointment recently, particularly after they distanced themselves from the black youth who clashed with police in Hyde and Burgess Parks in London on the 19th of July. The Black Lives Matter mass meeting here in Altib Ali Park, 19th of July, Whitechapel, turned out to be a disappointing affair. Myself and dozens of other people I know from or connected with this area drifted away when they divided into activista type discussion groups. Interestingly, the local Bangladeshis were notable by their absence. With a degree of sadness, we realise that here in London, at least, Black Lives Matter was rapidly evolving into yet another middle class pressure group with an agenda that had little or no relevance to our local population. Lee Jasper, that consummate political opportunist, appeared on Russia Today channel September the 6th, saying that the airport protesters were acting in the spirit of Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King. Next day, however, he changed his tune, accusing the airport protesters of cultural appropriation. But there's more to it than that. Basically, it's about class. Unlike the USA, the black middle class here is relatively small in numbers. Their desire for political power and control exists just as it does for the rest of the middle class. Despite the UK establishment being riddled with the cancer of racism, they like to take their position inside it, creating more black politicians, bankers, and judges. High flyers rather than high fivers. This, of course, won't make one iota of difference to the rest of the black population or any of us in the ethnically diverse working class. Did Barack Obama, being president for 8 years, do anything for the submerged black working classes in America? Many say it's become a hell of a lot worse, with increasing marginalisation and black people being shot down on the streets by police in scenes harking back to the 1960s. Ultimately, those arrested at City Airport just ended up collecting political correctness points. Had they been, for example, Asian, they could have ended up being shot or charged with serious terrorism offences. The Afro Caribbean population are no mugs. Politicos find it difficult to manipulate them. Sooner or later, they will rebel, justifiably react against the intolerable pressure heaped upon them by the system, in particular the police. That's when, as always, us anarchists and malcontents will be out on the streets to support them. After all, we're all under heavy manners. Same oppressors. 1981, 1985, and 2011 saw totally justified empowering uprisings here in the UK, spearheaded by black youth. Make no mistake, there will be other ethnic groups, including sections of the white working class and dispossessed, out there with them next time, as previously. The middle classes, many of them will be rushing to join the Broom Brigade. If Black Lives Matter are to have any relevance, they will have to undergo a radical change in direction, deal with the issues like class, deaths in custody, black on black violence, postcode wars. These and other factors I mentioned are the problems that must be tackled from below. Situations of increasing urgency, not airport pollution, real as it is. Bye.